This conference will now be recorded.
For February 7th. Can we have a moment of silence and pledge allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Secretary, can we have roll call, please?
Valerie Momon. Hakeem Jones.
Here.
Sanders. Heather Lewis. Rebecca Smith.
Here.
I see you. I see you. Thomas LaPera.
Here.
I see Thomas. And Derek Perry.
Here, can you hear us?
Yeah, it's just a big delay.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Okay, we can hear you clearly. That's all right. And then sometimes it acts up. No problem. Okay. Can we have a motion to approve the meeting minutes or any amendments? Does anyone have any amendments?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, seeing none. Great. Today we did not have an executive session. And Vice President LaPera, do we have any announcements?
Yes, February is the Black History Month, and starting tomorrow, the county will be holding their first of multiple virtual events from 12 o'clock to 1:15 p.m. Virtual Black History Month virtual education panel tomorrow, with multiple events throughout the month, and they are all posted on the county website. That's all.
Council, any other announcements that anyone may have? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Madam Secretary, any public comments?
No, there's not.
Okay. Anyone in the public? Do you have any comments? As the rules of law with Norristown is that you can have a public comment, but we will not respond, and we will get back to you after. So if anyone has a public comment, I will give you access to speak now. Okay. All right. Mr. Jones, in regards to Resolution 21-06, please. I'm not sure if anyone else can hear. I can't hear.
We can't hear you, Crandall.
Can you hear you?
We can't hear you, Crandall.
See, you're on green. You're on red now. Nope, can't hear you. Might have to do a reboot. We'll move on. We'll come back to you, Chief Talbot. Resolution 21-10, please.
Sure. Resolution 21-10. I'm requesting that council consider a motion to approve 2 disabled parking spaces. The locations are 825 Buttonwood Street and 1201 Powell Street. The residents at each location have demonstrated that they have a physical limitation that make these accommodations necessary. Thank you.
Thank you. Council, any questions or comments for Chief Talbot? Okay. Seeing none, can we have a motion to pass resolution number 21-10 to establish handicap parking at the following addresses, 825 Buttonwood Street and 1201 Powell Street?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Secretary, can we have roll
Second.
call? You're on mute, Madam Secretary, or you froze.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Valerie Momon? Guess she's not at the meeting.
Yeah, she's there.
Oh, okay. I don't hear her. Hakeem Jones?
Aye.
Sonia Sanders? Now I don't hear her either. Is she there?
She's saying aye. She's saying aye. She
Okay.
thumbed up. Mhm.
Thank you. Heather Lewis?
Not here at the
Is she
meeting
there?
today. No, not at the meeting
Okay.
today.
All right, thanks. Rebecca Smith?
Aye.
Thomas LaPera?
Aye.
Derek Perry?
Aye, the ayes have it. Resolution 21-10 passes. Mr. Jones, did you log back out and log back in? Can we hear you now? All right. We will go with Mr. Amrinder Singh. Are you on the call? Yes, you are.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Mhm.
Members of council, before you is a request for council to approve ordinance 21-01 to amend Article 3 of Chapter 239, Abandoned Real Property of the Municipal Code. This ordinance is to amend Article 3, Chapter 239, specifically to amend Section 239-7 relating to definitions, Section 239-8 relating to registry, and Section 239-10 relating to violations and penalties. Article 3, Abandoned Real Property of Chapter 239 was adopted by Municipal Council back in April of 2016 by ordinance number 16-06. This will be the first amendment / update for this existing ordinance, and the reason for this amendment request is due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The municipality previously adopted an abandoned real property ordinance for the reasons and purposes as set forth in the original ordinance, including to address the deterioration and blight in Norristown neighborhoods caused by abandoned, foreclosed, or distressed real property, and to identify, regulate, limit, and reduce the number of abandoned properties. Since adoption and due to circumstances of recent events, the COVID-19 pandemic, there is a potential of pending mortgage foreclosure crisis, and although the full severity and impact is currently unknown, the municipality recognizes that there currently exists a large number of vacant and abandoned properties, and that the number of such properties may increase in the future due to this pandemic. Currently, our ordinance requires an annual registration requirement for each abandoned real property. The current annual fee is $200. Recently, for the past 8 to 10 months, we have been experiencing that the information for particular properties here in Norristown, which are reported to us by the bank and mortgage companies, is outdated. Either the asset manager or the mortgage servicer, the property manager, and sometimes even the legal agent has changed, but the bank and mortgage company has not updated that information with the municipality. With this ordinance update, it will require banks and mortgage companies to register their properties with us every 6 months, meaning we will likely have more up-to-date information regarding who the accurate responsible individuals and companies are for such properties in case they need to be contacted for any property maintenance issues such as grass, trash, broken windows, graffiti, needing to be secured, etc. The semi-annual registration fee will be $400. And with this ordinance amendment, the penalty for non-compliance is being increased from $500 to $600. The municipality has a vested interest in protecting neighborhoods against decay caused by vacant and abandoned properties, and concludes that it is in the best interest of health, safety, and welfare of its residents to amend its existing registration and certification requirements on abandoned and vacant properties located within the municipality to include the updates as set forth in Ordinance 21-01, which will assist the Department of Buildings and Code Compliance with holding banks and mortgage companies responsible for their assets and properties located here in Norristown. Municipal Council, Mr. President, municipal staff is recommending that council approve Ordinance 21-01 as it will assist the municipality with meeting the municipal council's mission, vision, goals to help prevent and reduce blight in Norristown, and to hold banks and mortgage companies responsible for any and all assets they own in Norristown. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Council, any questions or comments? Councilman Jones.
Em, thank you, and council, thank you. I know we've all had many complaints and calls, and even the visualization of a lot of abandoned properties. And for so long, we've been wanting to figure out a way how to hold, banks accountable and owners. Sometimes they live out of town, sometimes they've abandoned, and oftentimes we have no clue how to find out who they are and where they are, but the calls never stop coming. So there's definitely is a step in the right direction, and hopefully this works out well.
Council, any other questions or comments? Thank you, Mr. Singh, for coming up with this information. Once again, something that council tries to tackle. This is one of the things, and we appreciate you to keep on doing the work that needs to be done. Council definitely appreciates that. So can we have a motion to request for council to approve Ordinance 21-01 to amend Article 3 of Chapter 239, Abandoned Real Buildings of the Municipal Code?
So moved.
Motion.
So moved. Second.
Madam Secretary, can we have roll call, please?
Valerie Momon,
Aye, and it's Moman.
sorry.
It's okay.
Hakeem Jones,
Aye.
Sonia Sanders,
Aye.
Rebecca Smith,
Aye.
Thomas LaPera,
Aye.
Derek Perry.
Aye. The ayes have it. Motion for Ordinance 21-01 passes. Mr. Singh, we'll just let you just keep going for the Historical Architectural Review Board, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Municipal Council, before you is a request to approve or deny the Historical Architectural Review Board applications, which were received, reviewed, and recommended for approval by HARB for the January 2021 applications. The Norristown HARB receives applications on a monthly basis for exterior repairs and renovations for properties located in Norristown's historic districts. Those applications are reviewed by the HARB members to confirm that the repair and/or renovation work is compliant with our municipal ordinance. The Historical Architectural Review Board has reviewed the applications and have approved, either as submitted or modified as mentioned on the Certificate of Appropriateness, the following two properties: 116 West Marshall Street and 512 Astor Street. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Council, any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion to approve the Historical Architectural Review Board applications received, reviewed, and recommended for approval by the HARB for January 2021?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any nays? Okay. Mr. Jones, we're
I
back
hope you
to,
can hear me.
we can hear you.
Great. Great. Thank you so much, Mr. President. So the first item, council, is Resolution 21-06, removal from boards and committees. We had a request from the Keep Norristown Beautiful Committee for the removal of one member who had failed to attend the required minimum amount of meetings and events. And so this resolution would remove Dominic Gafrida from the board. Council so approved.
Council, any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion to pass Resolution 21-06, which is the removal for boards and committees?
Motion.
Second.
Madam Secretary, can we have roll call, please?
Valerie Moman,
Aye.
Hakeem Jones,
Aye.
Sonia Sanders,
Aye.
Rebecca Smith,
Aye.
Thomas LaPera,
Aye.
Derek Perry.
Aye, the ayes have it. Resolution 21-06
Great.
passes. Mr. Jones, Resolution 21-11, please. You went out. Nope, can't hear you.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you
Hello?
now.
I don't know what's happening. Okay. I apologize. So resolution dash 2111 is for appointment to members of the Stormwater Advisory Committee. As council is aware, this is an important committee that council established, and we have been seeking members. This resolution would appoint 3 community members, Amy Worth, Phil Ellingsworth, Ramon Rios as community resident participants, and 2 business members, Vincenzo Armato and Aaron Muterick as business community members. I see on the screen that Ms. Worth, Mr. Ellingsworth, Mr. Rios, and Mr. Muterick are in attendance at the meeting. And should council pass this resolution, these folks would be immediately appointed to the board. They will have their first meeting a little bit later this week. And with that, we're still working on just members of the religious community. We have not. We made several efforts and still continuing to get members of the religious community to appoint members, a couple of members at least, to the board as well. So with that, if council is in approval, these appointees would join the board and attend their first meeting this week.
Council, any questions or comments? Councilman Jones and then Councilman Smith after.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to you guys. committing your time and effort. You know, we got some tough decisions to make in the future, but we're glad we got some businesses and some residents on board. So thanks for volunteering to be a part of this.
Councilwoman Smith.
Hakeem's faster than me on the green button because I was going to say thank you all for your community service and your time as well. I know time is tough for everybody and I appreciate you giving it to us.
I will also, any other questions or comments? I'm going to echo what my colleagues have said. One thing that we do want to have as council keeps moving forward is we want everyone to have a voice, and that's what this is about. So, you know, let's keep continuing the work that needs to be done. But we definitely appreciate every member in regards to joining in some of the committees that we have here in Norristown. So we are going to, can we have a motion to pass resolution 21-11, which is to appoint a Stormwater Advisory Committee of the 6 people, Amy Worth, Phil Ellingsworth, Raymond Rios, Vincent Armato, and Aaron Motoruk.
So moved.
Madam Secretary, can we have a roll call, please?
Valerie Moman,
Aye.
Hakeem Jones,
Aye.
Sonia Sanders,
Aye.
Rebecca Smith,
Aye.
Thomas LaPera,
Aye.
Greg Curry.
Aye, the ayes have it. Resolution 21-11 passes. Okay, so this is not on the agenda, so I am going to have a motion to open up a public meeting in regards to resolution that gives the municipality, or you know what, I'll let Sean, you want to take hold of this one? Do you got to unmute yourself?
Yeah, I got myself unmuted. Yes.
Yep. It's in regards to the support for foreclosures, et cetera, the memorandum.
Oh, sure. Yes. Yeah,
It
there
is,
is.
it is item D on the agenda, Mr.
It's
Chairman.
actually on. It's already on the agenda.
The one, well, I didn't.
Yeah. So it's item D, resolution 2114, resolution
Yep.
for the enactment of legislation. Request
I
for
was-
council to approve resolution 2114, supporting the enactment of legislation that would temporarily suspend foreclosures and evictions during COVID-19 pandemic, and requesting the Pennsylvania legislature and federal government to take immediate action to address the issue.
Yep. You want to give a brief summary?
Sure, I'll be happy to do that. Actually, some of this engendered from a call Councilman Perry made to me related to my role as sheriff. He called me last week and said, on Sweet Street, did you know that some of your deputies were evicting someone? When I heard that, I was actually surprised and aghast a little bit. I run a big office and don't always know everything that's going on every day. But I looked into it and I found out, in fact, we had evicted some folks during the pandemic and on a very cold day. And I was very, very concerned personally for that as sheriff and as a human being. So actually as sheriff, I decided to put essentially require all evictions to personally go through me until April, meaning that I need to see that or sign off on that. And to do an eviction these days from the federal government side, someone can avoid being evicted if they present their landlord a CDC form. This went to the legislation that was passed by Congress on December 31st, along with COVID relief and budget considerations. But you know, it was my concern that someone who was getting evicted may not have access to internet, may not have access to knowledge of this law, may not have access to, a printer for this form. So before we go ahead and do this, I'm going to make sure that anybody that is potentially being evicted is counseled on this law, given the opportunity to sign a form to prevent the eviction from the federal government before I move forward in my role as sheriff. The court may disagree with me, but that's what I'm going to do. So I want to thank Councilman Perry. I hate to digress on that from another issue, but after that, I know Councilman Perry was very concerned with this on every level and wanted to encourage the state legislature and the federal government to putting further restrictions in place. As you see, evictions can still happen, provided a form had. And the evictions on the state level, there hasn't been legislation to properly prevent evictions. So he wanted to put all our legislators on notice, all of our district judges on notice, anybody dealing with the eviction process, and urging both Congress and our state legislature to pass additional legislation to protect tenants during this horrible time with high unemployment, cold weather, and a pandemic. So I believe that's some of what the resolution does, Councilman Perry, and I'm sorry to digress. I usually don't mix my role as sheriff and solicitor and not to do that, but I want to personally thank you for calling me and bringing this to my attention because I was disgusted.
Mr. Jones, do you want to say anything else in regards to that, or?
No, I think that covers it. I know that you and Council Vice President Perry and I talked about it as well. We coordinated with solicitor. He covered it beautifully.
Yeah, so Council, one of the things that I want to tell you and why I'm so passionate about beefing up legislation against others that hurt our community at the end of the day is that we continue to have people fight against people who are speaking out against these landlords and slumlords. And specifically what happens is, and it's been eating at me for a while, is that I've been getting a lot of calls in regards to people getting evicted from their places currently right now during our pandemic and a cold winter storm. And it shouldn't sit well with you. And it definitely didn't sit well with me that I'm glad Sean gave me a call back when he did, because I had to think about it first before I put it out on Facebook and blasted it everywhere, that the sheriff's department and that others continue to do a disservice for the people in our community. And that shouldn't sit well with you. And we shouldn't sit on our hands and be quiet about anything that affects our people at the end of the day. And I will continue to keep speaking out, and I'm hoping that you guys will, speak out with me. But I don't want to be the only one. It's not about me. It's about us together as a council and as a community, and what we're supposed to do for these lower income people every day that they're affected by all kinds of stuff, right? So this was definitely something that I'm glad that Patrick had looked into and Sean had looked into and Crandall had looked into. But I think it's important that we get the word out that we don't want anyone evicted out of their place during this pandemic when everybody is suffering everywhere, right? And it's a shame that this last time was just a call from seniors, a guy that's 65 years old and a lady who's 70 something years old, that they got evicted out of their place because they reported to me, and I reported to code to reach out to the landowner to make sure that stuff was getting fixed in our community for, just for somebody to live in that's okay. And they decided that, number one, and Brenda can talk about this, number one, they didn't even reach back out to our code department, right? And number two, they blew our code department off and evicted the people out of it. So what does that say about who we are? And not saying that we're not doing the necessary things, but once again, here we are, another landlord that decides that if you take action against me, I'm going to take action against them. And then we had, some NDJs that, not going to say any names, that evictions are happening through them. So, council, sorry for going on my little rant. Anyone have anyone have a comment or Councilwoman Smith?
Thank you. I think that this is important to discuss. So thank you, President Perry, for bringing it to us. My question is really just a matter of like, how far can we get other local communities to pass the same or similar resolutions so they can pressure their federal and state representatives as well? Because, I know we've got a council member who's on the board of the National League of Cities. We've got involvement with Pennsylvania Municipal League. So if we can get this spread far and wide, I think it'll have a bigger impact for everybody. So that's just my, I guess I'll turn it into a question. Can we spread it everywhere?
Councilwoman Smith, I know Mr. Jones can send it out to, it's a member of ICMA and the Consortium of Montgomery County Managers. He'll send that out. I will also personally, my firm represents 27 municipalities. We'll be happy to send that out to all of them as well, making them aware of the Norristown legislation and being something that other municipalities would consider as well during these very difficult times.
And I will definitely, being the board member of the Pennsylvania Municipal League, absolutely. That's what it's all for, right? That's what we're there for, to make sure that this gets out. And we'll send it to the state rep and the state senator also, and the Congress lady.
President Perry, may I make a comment, please?
Councilwoman Mo, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't, I wasn't aware this happened as well, and I'm so glad that you noticed and you contacted the right source. I have a board of directors meeting this coming Thursday with the National League of Cities board of directors. I will bring this up and find out their take and what they've been doing with this major issue. I'm sure it's across the country. So I will find out more.
Councilman Jones.
Yeah, also, Council Press, thank you for bringing this to our attention. But I wanted to share that we have two large nonprofits in our community, both CADCOM and ACLAMO, who received an abundance of funding, CARES Act related funding around rental assistance and eviction prevention. So I don't know. I've heard complaints that it's not happening fast enough, but I also heard that the program has been extended. So maybe our municipality or administrator, Crandall, you can connect with both executive directors and try to get some information out on where they are. I did learn that some of that funding was extended to help people in these situations.
I definitely will. One of the things I share with council is, as you recall, we did receive some funding, and council directed about $50,000 of funding toward legal aid support for folks who were threatened with eviction. We gotten into a partnership with the legal aid to do this on our behalf. But the challenge for them is they got so much money funneled to them directly that they're not spending that fast enough. So I met with Ms. Masonier last week, and we're getting ready to put out a quick RFP to see if local firms around here might be interested in taking that on. It seems that the legal aid might be just overwrought with it. And I don't know if the other two agencies, CADCOM and CLAMO, had contacted them as well. But I'll reach out to both, and maybe we can pool our resources together. Maybe maybe a local firm here can take on all three of us, and well, our money specifically for Norristown residents.
Yeah, I can say it was definitely an interesting conversation as I started talking to Sean and Patrick and Crandall and finding out that there's a slew of money everywhere that people are holding on. And it's like, what are you doing with it? You know, are you sitting on these funds, or are you doing the necessary work that happens, that should be happening every day, right? And obviously we're starting to find out that, you know, if you uncover a couple pieces, that sometimes that's not happening. So, and I know we know different things in the community that sometimes we share and sometimes we don't share. So, you know, it's good that we can put our heads together and definitely jump on this, because like I said, it bothered me more than anything else to know that, you know, we were doing the right thing and that someone is homeless now out on the street and don't know what's going on the next, you know, for the next day. That shouldn't sit well with us at all. And so Crandall also, I think he had reached out. I told him to reach out to the Fair Housing, correctly?
Yes,
And
we
so
did.
we're contacting them and finding out, you know, specifically what they can do on their end. They know this is happening. But you know, I love that we're doing this currently right now. So Ken, any other questions? I'll first say that. Can we have a motion to pass Resolution 20-14 to support the enactment of legislation, supporting the enactment of legislation that would temporarily suspend foreclosures and evictions during COVID-19 pandemic, and requesting the Pennsylvania legislature as well as the federal government to take immediate action to address the same issues.
So moved.
So moved.
Madam Secretary, Madam Secretary, can we have roll call, please?
Valerie Moman,
Aye.
sorry. Hakeem Jones,
Aye.
Tony
I'll do it.
Sanders,
I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you. I don't want to put her business out there. Dang, may mess me up. Okay. This is Madam Secretary's family member. It's her brother and her sister-in-law. So that's why she's in tears. And you know, it's unfortunate. And it hurts me that she's even on this call going through something like that. Hakeem, your vote, please. Madam
Aye.
Vice President.
Aye, sorry.
Madam Vice President, I mean, Madam Smith,
Aye.
Madam Moban,
Aye.
Madam Sanders,
Aye.
and Vice President LaPierre,
Aye.
and President Perry. Definitely a big aye. Resolution 21-14 passes. Mr. Jones, 21-13, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. And in a similar vein, 21-13 is a resolution of council to consider the selection of the artists and approve the Black My Lives mural design for placement on Swede Street. As council recalls, in August of last year, you approved having a mural installed on Swede Street at 429, between 425 Swede Street and the Montgomery County Courthouse. Of course, since that time, the county had been at that point in construction of their reskinning of the building. That finally is complete. And so while that was going on, staff worked in several venues to try to secure artists who would submit designs in order to be considered by council. We worked with the artists in Philadelphia. We also worked with the Chamber of Commerce. We worked with Victoria, Special Events Coordinator, to identify artists who would be interested in submitting. surprisingly, most the artists who responded said that even though there was several months in terms of time in which to get a proposal to us, that they couldn't. But we were very, very fortunate that two artists who are actually partners and on this call, Miss J. Nicole Davis and Mr. Drew Montemayor, both on this call. They submitted a design for it. I'll pull it up on screen in a moment. But I also wanted to share that both President Perry and I think Councilmember Jones had been active in working with other organizations who might be interested in supporting council's efforts to get this done financially to support the cost of doing this. And so I think it's the Bar Association, Montgomery County Bar Association is interested. They put me in contact with them. They're doing fundraising efforts to get this taken care of. One of the great things about it, these are local artists. Ms. Davis, I understand, is a Norristown resident who moved down south, which I have an affinity for. I'm from Georgia. So she moved to South Carolina, but is very, very much interested in coming back to her hometown and participating in this. I want to give them an opportunity to share a little bit with you, Council, in terms of their vision while I scramble and get it up on the screen while they're talking. So I'll turn it over to you folks if you're ready to share a few words with Council.
Mr. Montemayor, I'm sorry if I'm crucifying your name, but
it's totally okay. I'm still learning how to say it, so no worries. Yeah, so my name's Drew, last name Montemayor. Nicole and I are going to be working, in partnership, and I just want to say we're grateful to have the opportunity, as this is a possibility. And I'm originally from Conshohocken, and I live in East Falls, Philadelphia right now. And so as far as the design goes, I know it was heavily influenced by the Black Lives Matter mural in Cincinnati that I believe was created early in 2020, but I'm not exactly sure the date. So Nicole and I have partnered together and come up with a bunch of different ideas to kind of bring this through. And I can kind of speak on it real quick, and then Nicole, if you want to add anything. I kind of had some design notes below. So, and again, it's open for some interpretation here, or however we want to do it. But we wanted to show some powerful leaders within the words itself, as well as specific quotes. So we added Martin Luther King in the B there, and there's a lot of movement going on there of him speaking. The L has the word equality, and it also has say their names, almost as like a sign that makes the L. And then the A is John Lewis there. And then for the C, we played with the words. It says teach peace, and the two words kind of come together, and then there's a figure with almost like a rainbow design there. And then the K, we kind of put together a $20 bill with Floyd's face on it that ends up becoming an American flag, and then the word lives underneath that with two hands coming together and holding hands. And then in the matter portion of the text, we were going to, our idea for right now was to put together all the names of the people that were recently lost that made up all of those words there. So that's the overall design here. And then Nicole, if you want to add anything and introduce yourself, go ahead as well.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jelita Nicole. I'm actually, I used to be a resident of Norristown, and just last year had moved down to South Carolina. And again, yes, thank you very much for this possible opportunity. We thought also that it would be a great idea to maybe involve the community and the art students in the high school. So I had also reached out to Methacton High School, and they are looking into possibly getting a lot of the art students to join us in this movement as well. Like Drew had said, we're just looking to kind of highlight notable Black leaders and prominent figures who've kind of shaped this movement and just trying to connect the community and make this a positive movement.
Mhm.
And if you guys had any ideas or anything that you maybe wanted to throw into it, we're absolutely open to that as well.
Council, any questions or comments?
I have a question.
Councilman
Nicole,
Moment.
I didn't hear which school you contacted.
Methacton High School?
Was there any reason why we couldn't reach out to Norristown High School?
I did reach out to Norristown as well. I'm still waiting to hear back. So we reached out.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did reach out to Norristown as well. And then I didn't talk to you, Nicole, about this, but this just kind of came up. But my brother does a lot of work in and around the Norristown area as well. And he works with like at-risk youth and things of that nature. And he connected me with, I believe it was Expressive Path, which is right on DeKalb there as well. And so I don't know if there's a connection there, but I believe if you're not familiar with Expressive Path, from what I gather, is they work with students to, whether they have some artistic, music, any kind of talent, and give them a place to really, express themselves through that medium. So that's also on the table.
Councilwoman Sanders.
That's great.
Yes, has Sakate been contacted as well?
Who was it?
I'm sorry, kind of broke.
So Councilwoman says Sakate. So what I'm going to say, Council, is we're going to give all of this information to where we're going to reach out to ACPAC, Sakate. There was another organization that came to us, Incarcerated Minds. Am I saying that right? Where they wanted to do, or it was another organization who wanted to do the riverfront. Miss Councilwoman Smith, do you remember that organization who wanted to do the mural near the riverfront? Remember them?
I do vaguely remember, but I don't remember the name off the top of my head. I can look back in my notes and get the name to you.
Well, we'll definitely get all organizations, but Councilwoman Sanders, if you have any other comment or questions, yes, we will do all the necessary work that we need to do, even with trying to reach out to the school board to make that happen.
Sounds great.
Absolutely.
And council, just for your information, one of the things we've inquired in terms of just the timing, and we find out that the temperature is really kind of driving the wind of this, so it needs to be at a time when we're about at 50 degrees steady that we do it. So hopefully not toward the end of this month, maybe by the middle of March, we'll be ready that you can paint in the warmer climate. So, but if you approve it, we'll get everything started. We'll continue to work with them, and also share back with you information in terms of all of the folks who are contacted and involved in the process.
Councilman Jones.
Yeah, so I agree. I think it was a great thing for the Bar Association, Jimmy Chong and the many others who are going to support this. We did talk about having students be a part of it, but I guess due to COVID situations, we thought we would limit it to the artists. But now that I'm learning that students will be involved, I think it's extremely important that we have, Norristown students helping with this mural. Nothing against Methacton students, but I would love for the kids who live here that walk through these streets every day to be able to have a part of this. So I'd be glad to connect you with any of the youth organizations. If the school district doesn't get back to you, like Council President says, there's several nonprofits that work with students as well. So thank you guys. It looks amazing.
I think that'd be a great
it's necessary. I think it's necessary, and thank you.
Council, any other questions? Council Vice President LaPere.
Yes, the mural looks great. I'd like to say thank you for that. And Randall, do we have any timeline or anything? I know they're going to start demolition on the courthouse. Is that going to affect the street at all, or are we going to be okay there still?
Yeah, we're gonna be okay. That they're just gonna be on the Main Street side with the demolition. But they know I've been pestering them to get the stuff done so we can have Sweet Street back. So they're well aware of what we're about to do with Sweet Street, and they've done even the work that they're doing on the Airy side to finish up. Won't impact what we're trying to do on Sweet.
Great, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Council, any other questions or comments? I wanted to say I am impressed. When I first seen the Black Lives Matter mural, brought me to tears in regards to it, because it looks like you guys just hit everything on the head and didn't really make it look like something that was political. And why I say that is because, yes, you hit, you hit Martin Luther King, you hit, say their names and everything that affects the Black community at the end of the day. And I know for sure that we are going to be very proud of this at the end of the day. The mural is something good, Council. I think this is great, but once again, let's not stop there when we're looking at what if Black Lives Matter, right? We're looking at legislation and things that's going to protect our community at the end of the day, and move us into another direction, and that's what we're supposed to be doing. So let's make this work be part of the work that we need to do on top of that. And we can't wait for you to come and join us in making this happen. People are going to be excited. They're excited. So we thank you guys.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Total privilege, yeah, an honor. Thank you. And I just want to acknowledge all you guys for all the work that you do. Just sitting here and being present to what's going on. Everybody's going through different things. And so I just want to acknowledge you all for that. So,
Drew, I got to ask you one question now.
Yeah, sure.
Please tell me you didn't go to PW, please.
I did. I hope that doesn't do anything here with my stance on this project.
I will say this is the one time I can say, as a Norristown guy, we love PW.
Yeah, we did. I did play football, and I got to say that was always fun on Thanksgiving, playing Norristown. That was always something I remember. So, yeah.
There you go. Hey, we appreciate you, man. We definitely appreciate you. I love the joke, so that was a great moment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we have a motion to pass Resolution 21-13 for Municipal Council to select the artist and approve the Black Lives Matter mural design?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Secretary, can we have roll call, please?
Valerie Moman,
Aye.
Hakeem Jones,
Aye.
Sonia Sanders,
Aye.
Rebecca Smith,
Aye.
Thomas LaPera,
Aye.
Derek Perry.
Aye, the ayes have it. Resolution 20-13 passes. Thank you. Mr. Jones or Mr. Kilkenny?
I can do it if you like, Sean. So council, this item is a request for council to approve an assessment appeal stipulation that was agreed upon by the school district. Essentially, you received those two assessment appeal stipulation, and the taxpayers and NASD agreed, but it does require council's approval as well. This will result in a refund to the taxpayer at 705 Astor Street in the 751 Astor Street in the amount of $643.53, and for 200 East Airy Street, there'll be total taxes paid back to the municipality of $134.63. The solicitor had advised, and wisely so, that Norristown really didn't put the amount that it would take for Norristown to get involved in it. It was fine to just go ahead and make this agreement. So we would request that council approve this, as it would help set the correct assessed value for the 2021 tax year.
Council, any questions or comments? Councilwoman Sanders? Oh, okay. Council, any questions or comments? Can we have a motion to request council to approve of the assessment and appeal stipulations agreed upon by the Norristown Area School District that have been agreed by the school district, the county, the taxpayer, and the Board of Assessments?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any? Okay, seeing none, motion passes. Mr. Jones?
Council, thank you. Resolution 21-12 is a resolution related to Municipal Hall addition and renovations. At prior meeting, council had approved a notice of intent for $200 environmental.
Crandall, you're breaking up really bad.
Okay, let me see what my phone is doing.
I think we hear it a little better.
Okay, great. I'm sorry. So again, at prior meeting, council had approved the notice of intent to award to Coordinates Favor Incorporated in the amount of $381,200 of sprinkler services, and Plymouth Environmental Company Incorporated in the amount of $89,000 for remediation services related to the building project. The stipulation was that they had to go and do all of the due diligence necessary to meet the responsible contractors ordinance. The municipal engineer has reviewed all of their submittals related to that, and it's deemed that they have met those stipulations and requirements, and they are now eligible for council to approve award of the contract. So this is a request that council approve that final award of the contract, of the two contracts.
Council, any questions or comments? Okay. Seeing none, can we have a motion to pass resolution number 20-12, which is the Municipal Hall additions and renovations awarding bids for abatement and sprinkler contracts?
So moved.
Sonia, Councilwoman Sanders, did you say second? Yeah, she said second. Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Okay. Valerie Moman,
Aye.
Hakeem Jones,
Aye.
Sonia Sanders,
Aye.
Rebecca Smith,
Aye.
Thomas LaPera,
Aye.
Eric Perry.
Aye, the ayes have it. Motion passes. Okay, and we're at the end of departmental reports. Mr. Jones, can you lead us? Administration.
Absolutely.
Or you know what, Mr. Jones, let's go with Mr. O'Denningbo first. No, Mr. O'Denningbo, I know you need some sleep, man. You've been up for a couple long hours.
I think I'm fine.
I think I seen your head dip off a couple times. I just need to get you sleep, man. You still got a lot of work to do. All right.
We still have a lot of work to do. We'll start the cleaning up tomorrow, and then hopefully take another 3 days. We should be fine. I just want to say that we are right now, everybody knows we are trying to make sure we've been able to at least get the roads cleared a little bit. But because of parking, we still have so much work to do. Starting from tomorrow, we will be cleaning up and widening the roads more. And then after that, we'll get into the alleys. And we're hoping that will take about another 2 or 3 days. But again, we are mindful of the fact that another storm might come on Sunday. And we are ready for that. We are making every effort to make sure we can get salt. Salt has become a very scarce commodity. And we placed order for salt since Thursday last week. And usually we get this salt within 3 business days of placing the order. But it looks as if we are having some problem getting salt now. So we are working hard to make sure we can get salt before the next snowstorm. We have been, apart from the snow, we have actually been doing a lot of cleaning up around the community. Mainly, we've been, because of trees in the community, there are times we have problems with the sweeper, actually maneuvering around foliage. So we're taking advantage of when we didn't have snow, to be cutting some of those limbs. So that's what we've been doing for some time, and it's been working out. We had a very major storm sewer interceptor problem around Buttonwood. This has really been a very big problem in this community. It's probably one of the biggest storm sewers in this community. It's a storm sewer that is made from corrugated metal pipe, 8 feet deep, and actually carries most of what we have on the western part of our community. We worked on it in the last 2-3 weeks. I really thought it was a very major project, and it looks as if we've found what the problem has been. This problem has been in this community for more than 20 years. I believe that this time we found what the problem is and we took care of it. So that was another thing that kept us very busy. And we have been doing a lot of work in-house, trying to arrange the public works garage, because that's one of the requirements of the insurance. They really think that arranging the garage was equally going to reduce the city liability, and we've been doing that. So, and it looks as if we've concluded that. Apart from that, and then I've been working with Mascaro. I hope every person knows that, I don't know if people know, but the new trash contract will start April 1. And one thing we really found out was, I'm trying to make sure that the specification we wrote this time becomes a real working document that Mascaro will use in April. So I have been working with Mascaro, making sure that the transition is going to be seamless. And we have worked and actually designated locations for all the big bellies. And then the extra dumpsters, or receptacles, not dumpsters, the extra receptacles we're going to have in the parks. And again, working with Mascaro sometime next week, the Mascaro will probably start transitioning, giving residents the new trash cans. And they will start on, according to their route, they're probably going to start with the Monday routes. Finish people, the free Monday route, they give to people that Tuesday routes and so on. So I really think that will go very well. And I'm working very closely with them to make sure that that is going to be seamless. And I've been working on that. Then the next thing is that there's going to be a lot of construction in this community, probably in the next, starting from the next 1 week. There are a lot of projects that PICO, a lot of gas main that PICO will be changing in many parts of this community. As a matter of fact, it's probably going to be 6 times the amount of job they have always done every year. So that is going to involve a lot of traffic jams and all the rest. I've been working with PICO to make sure that it's going to be, the impact will be very minimal to our community. So this has really been a very busy beginning of the year for public works. And I'll be ready to answer any questions that the council will have.
Council, any questions for Mr. Denningbo? Councilman Jones.
Not a question, just a thank you. You shared this weekend that you took your crew from 3 CDLs up to 12 drivers, and I know times like now are important. We at one point we were the laughing stock of the area when it came to plowing snow, but I've heard nothing but positive things, and you created a whole brining solution program, and it's really paid dividends. So thanks for everything, and keep up the good work.
Thank you. I'll make sure that I tell you guys about it.
Council, any other comments, questions for Mr. Denningbo? So Denningbo, I know you're tired, man. You don't even got to stay on to the end of this. Just go ahead and get off. I know you got a job that you want to do, and we appreciate you and your guys doing everything that you possibly can. I can tell you that one complaint I got that I keep getting is, why do you guys keep plowing us back in? I'm like, do you want the streets plowed or not? And then the second question I have is, can you guys come pick up the snow? I'm like, well, I don't think we have the money to buy one of those machines to get rid of the snow, but maybe one of these days we will. But we appreciate you, man, for doing everything, and get ready for that snow for Sunday.
We're ready.
All right, enjoy your night.
Thank you.
Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. Just wanted to share a few things that have been going on, particularly in the last month. We continue to have our meetings with the state hospital, about the state hospital, with Department of General Services and Department of DHS, Human Services in Harrisburg. It is moving along very, very well. They, as I think I told you before, they've chosen their demolition contractor. They're out there doing their survey work and all the things necessary to begin late spring, early summer, the demolition project. Everything is moving well. All of the folks out there who will have to be off the property have been notified to be off the property or making plans to be off the property, including the county, when it's supposed to be off the property by December 31st, 2022. So that is going well. I think we have our February meeting this week, so that's going well. The Stormwater Committee advisory process going well. Thank you so much for the appointments tonight. I'm getting closer to getting ministerial appointments. I have some conversations tomorrow, as a matter of fact, and I want to thank Angie with NAACP for working with me to help get a fire under them to get engaged, because it's so important to that community that they weigh in on this as well. I will tell you that one of the things we've been working on, one of the things we have funded in the budget is this year is analysis of some data that you approved the flyover last year. We're going to do the digitization analysis of the digital data and actually to help create all of the necessary mapping and support the stormwater utility this year. And we had put $100,000 in the budget to do it. We've been talking with them back and forth about alternative ways to get that accomplished, trying to be a bit budget conscious because things are so tight. And so we think that there's going to be a way to effectively do what we need to do and reduce that cost by about $40,000 at least. And so I've got a meeting tomorrow, and I think we'll firm that up. And I should be bringing to you shortly the project that would digitize the data, which is ultimately going to be the basis for how the committee will determine what fee to recommend to the council to move forward. We've also been working again with State Hospital. I know one of the things that was important to council was that the Garden Club and our community garden group had an opportunity to have a location in Norristown. We have looked at the one right down the street, down Marshall Street, the park area, and I think the Montgomery County is also trying to do a garden to deal with the food desert issue. We met with Jane and I met with both groups jointly, and then I had a separate meeting with the community garden folks who are out at State Hospital as well. We think that property offers the opportunity for both of them to coexist out there. So we're working through some things. Council members, Sanders, you should be hearing from one of the representatives of Montgomery County because one of the things we told them is that we wanted to make sure that they reach out to the community to talk about the impact of the garden and to get the community's blessing. And he's supposed to be reaching out to you for you to connect him with some key folks in the community that would help make those meetings possible. Another thing we worked on and started and had a first meeting with last month was I've been trying to figure out a way to keep these Citizens Leadership Academy graduates engaged with us, particularly in terms of volunteerism, being on boards and committees and getting a little bit more active. So we've done some outreach with them, and I've started a community Citizens Leadership Academy roundtable where I will meet with them. And I invited the large group and some members, and I had a virtual meeting last month. And basically where I keep them apprised of what's going on, in terms of council actions, in terms of things that we need help with, you need help with in terms of volunteerism, et cetera, getting their ideas that I can share with council as well. First meeting went very well, and we'll continue to do it, but it does get them engaged, and I'm really, really happy about that. And I think the last thing that I'll talk about is that happened last month, and it's certainly not just your thing, and that was certainly the great retreat you had this past weekend. It was exceptional. I think you got the report back. So I'm looking for you all to make your final touches on that report so that we can certainly put the information out there as you desire for the resident. And we're getting ready to put together a little piece for photos, et cetera, from the work you did this weekend. So with that, that's my report for this month.
Council, any questions or comments for Mr. Jones?
Yes,
Councilwoman
I do.
Sanders.
So I wanted to give everyone an update. So I did meet with the folks from the community garden. One of the areas they were looking at targeting was the Thomas Barone park. It's a small park. Kids play in that area. So I took a few notes, and it would cost the municipality $0. They are looking to educate the children, have a kids garden, and the other good news story is the fact that there is excess funding from the state. that they could apply the funds to, in addition to creating a community garden and having various activities on the weekends. In addition to that, they also receive grants up to $10,000 annually. So I just wanted to keep everyone abreast of that. And they also asked if I could partake and spend some time with them to assist them through the process.
Council, any questions or comments for Councilwoman Sanders or Mr. Jones? Okay. Well, great meeting, everyone. Everyone, be safe out there. You know, in the snow driving and as well as this COVID thing. Now we got double bubble trouble. So, but it'll go away. But everybody have a nice night. Everybody be safe. Mr. Odeningbo, go to sleep. Get some rest. All right. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy your night.
Good night, everybody. We're gonna adjourn the meeting.
Yeah, I was going to say, go ahead.
Oh, yep. I don't want Madam Secretary to hit me like, oh my gosh, you forgot that. Motion to adjourn the meeting.
So move.
Second.
All in favor.
Aye.
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 Any nays? All right, seeing none, everyone have a good night.